finally spell the end of the big freeze.
On the giant killing trail, Luton Town fans prepare for their big FA Cup trip to Norwich.
Of snow tonight. In fact, this afternoon, the Met Office has scaled up its warning to amber and also expanded it to include much of the region. So that means to be prepared that we could see around 10 centimetres of snow even on the low ground.
And 3 teams from our region still standing in the FA Cup, and 2 of them meet tomorrow.
And it's a repeat of a very famous meeting more than 50 years ago. Baynham.Great has more.
It's one of the standout seasons in the history of Norwich City Football Club, 1958-59. The efforts of that famous side, featuring the likes of Terry Alcock and Ron Ashman, have been well documented in reaching the FA Cup semi-finals. But there's another club from our region which actually went one better, reaching the final itself, at Norwich's expense. That club was Luton Town, their cup dreams ending at Wembley all those years ago. At the time, Luton were in the top flight. Tomorrow, they're very much the underdog coming from the conference, as they try and build on the Hatters' heritage.
We know that we're a huge club at the level we play at, you know, and that's been tough for us in the 4 seasons we've been in the Blue Square. So against Wolves, it was great. It was great to see Wolves, Luton Wolves will be the underdog again on Saturday. So it's nice. The shoulders can drop down a little bit and we can go and enjoy our football.
Goalkeeper Mark Tyler was one of the Luton heroes in the 3rd round win against Wolves. Now he's preparing to face the club where his career started.
I'm from Norwich anyway, so it's a big day for the family, and it's where everything started for me. You know what I mean? When I was 9, and you know what I mean, it spurred me on to be a professional footballer.
He'll no doubt get a warm reception from Norwich supporters. They in turn will expect another routine outing from their team, as they did at Peterborough. But try saying that to the manager.
We see this very much as a league team outfit. They still get a very good support, and they still, at that level, have very good players. And we're very, very conscious of what can happen.
But what about the underdogs of 54 years ago? Norwich, Terry Alcock and all, were playing in the 3rd Division South. Manchester United were one of their victims, hence why their cup run was fondly remembered by many.
We, as individual members of the team, were very confident, and that team actually that we played, we had 5 of us who had just come from Premier clubs to join Norwich that year. So we weren't overawed by the occasion.
The clubs have met just once in the competition since the semi-final and replay of 59. Norwich won. Expect the same tomorrow, unless the magic of the cup rubs off on Luton. Baynham.Great, ITV News.
Yeah, so we have at least one team guaranteed to go through to the 5th round. Or we could have.
And it's Norwich versus Luton in the cup, just like it was in 1959.
In football, it's the 4th round of the FA Cup this weekend. Our one to watch is Norwich City against Luton Town. Those of you who know your football history will know they met in the semi-finals back in 1959, when things were very different.
Back then, Luton were the big league club, and they had a great goalkeeper. His name was Ron Baynham, and he also played for England. Now, we've tracked Ron down, and at the age of 83, he's still a big fan of the game.
Owen spun the coin and won the toss for Luton at St Andrews in the semi-final replay. 50,000 fans on the Birmingham ground saw Terry Bly set the game going.
Yeah, nice to see you again. Oh, fantastic. Bring back some happy memories. Oh, what? Yeah. Brilliant. And the Wembley, here we come. And that was at Birmingham as well, where I come from. Yeah. And all my family was there. Oh, lovely. Fantastic.
If you made the front cover, you were someone special. And Ron Baynham was.
Baynham and Luton goal was playing in England form.
He was one of the best goalkeepers of his generation, and one match away from Wembley.
That to me was the hardest match as regards stress and nerves to get over. Because once you've got there and you've won, the feeling, it's hard to describe. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
In 1959, Norwich were the minnows, up against 1st Division Luton, but the Canaries had knocked out Spurs and the Busby Babes of Manchester United to reach the semi-finals. Back then, football was hard, but fair.
In our day, if it was a corner, He'd mark every man there, you know. There'd be none of this business at all. And shoving and all this. There was none of that. You get blowed up by the referee.
It was a hard game.
It was a hard game, yeah. Nat Lofthouse has hit me, knocked me down many a time. Picked me up and said, all right. And I said, yeah. I said, I'll have you next time.
While Ron was forced to retire when he was 34, today's Luton stopper Mark Tyler is still going strong at 35. Born and bred in Norwich, he likes a quiet life, especially at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
For me, the perfect game is just to keep the ball as far away from me as possible. But, you know what I mean, I'm there to make saves and keep the ball out of the net. So, you know what I mean, the less I do probably gives us a better chance.
A big FA Cup game, what would your advice be to the players?
Go out and enjoy it. Go out and enjoy it. Just do what you normally would do. I'd be satisfied with a draw there, and we could thrash them at half.
Now aged 83, Ron still touches the crossbar in his local park every day.
Bingham scored!
Old habits die hard for a goalkeeper who helped Luton reach Wembley.
So Luton go into the final. What a pity it's at the expense of gallant Norwich City.
Jonathan Park, BBC Look East.
Isn't he good?
He looks terrific as well, doesn't he?
Knocked over by the great Nat Lofthouse and picked up again. That's great.
Well, expectations will be high among Canary fans that they can overcome non-league Luton. As always, though, it's the managers who will be under the greatest pressure.
Chris Hughton has only been at Carrow Road for 6 months, but there have already been plenty of ups and downs. Our sports reporter Tom Williams has been to see.
FA Cup this weekend. You're at home to non-league Luton. I spoke to a former manager here, Dave Stringer, before the last round, who said to me he would have never dreamt of making wholesale changes for an FA Cup tie, but he agreed times have changed.
And times have changed. Sometimes it's difficult for your own supporters to understand that. I'm the same as Dave. I played in an era where generally the manager didn't change the team. So no doubt it's an important one for us. We desperately want to win and go through. Our main objective has to be to make sure that we're staying in this division for next season.
Chris Hughton.